Yeah, yeah, everybody at the same time. I'm Sarah here. I'm in Stockholm, Sweden.
I'm Sanne in the south of beautiful France.
Oh, nice. And I'm a Jojo, and I'm currently in Poland.
Off-Gassing, a scuba podcast with host Nick Hogel. I am super excited to introduce this next roundtable. This group had me in tears. I was laughing so much. Joanna Wyrebek, Sara Banderby, and Sanne Volja make up the Cavettes, a group of technical divers with a goal to empower other women in diving. They sit down and tell me about how the group was formed, their expeditions, some challenges they have faced, and much more. Let me say they did not hold anything back, and hands down, this was one of my favorite episodes to record. Please enjoy. Well, good morning, everybody. Good afternoon for me. It is 4 p.m. over here, and where is everybody right now? I'd like to know where exactly is everybody?
Yeah, yeah, everybody at the same time. I'm Sarah here. I'm in Stockholm, Sweden.
I'm Sanne in the south of beautiful France.
Oh, nice. And I'm a Jojo, and I'm currently in Poland.
Okay. Well, today I am very excited because I get to speak to the Cavettes, and I am very curious to hear about the story of how y'all formed, what y'all are doing, and just everything you have going on. So whose brainchild was this? Who wanted to get the group together?
I think it was Jojo, or am I
It
mistaken?
was Jojo or Sanne
Yeah, I think
who did the little chat group? Because I think on Instagram during Corona we had been following each other, but like separately. And at some point, one of you group message and was like, "Hey, should we do stuff?" Who was it?
I think it was
It wasn't me.
probably Jojo.
It was probably me. It's, all bad things come from me. I'm joking. But yeah, it must have been me. But Nick, just like a really, really quick background, it was like we were following each other, like Sarah mentioned, for a long, long time. And what was specific about this, I've noticed, we were really supportive of each other. So if Sanne or Sarah would achieve something, or she would go somewhere, or do something nice, great, we would actually like put nice comments and support her, and and it was really, really, it was really amazing, and that was really specific about us. And then I think that's how Cavettes was born, really. And there was a group chat, but we've met through social media.
Okay.
Long story short. Yeah,
But it was great because I was at the time. I think now it's almost like what 4 years ago, something like this.
Yeah.
And I was
3 years ago.
looking for. I was just trying to find other women who were also doing rebreather cave diving. That was
Exactly.
kind of like when I was hashtag searching. I'm like, where them babes at? And I was just trying to see because there are some here in Sweden who also dive. We were so few, so usually when we did events here in Sweden diving, it would be like we rotated. We were never more than one or two at the same time. And I was thinking there has to be more women out there who are diving CCR and caves than the little group I see
Amazing
here.
women.
And that's how I found you guys, because I was just looking for more people who did the same stuff as me, or the same but more advanced.
Yeah, actually, eventually we felt normal because there were like others like us, other women doing the same kind of diving. Because for all of us, it was the same. We only had like male dive buddies, and it's great, it's amazing. But there are some subjects you really want to talk about with women, who only women can understand. And then this group came out of it.
And also there's a personality attached as well, because obviously you can't only be diving, you need to be amazing like us. I'm joking, not maybe amazing, but we're one of a kind. Everyone's different, but everyone's specific, and we do love each other. So yeah, we've got some, good personalities. I think so.
Yes, no, definitely.
Almost getting emotional already.
Oh no.
We've got crying baby in the group.
Oh my god.
No, I'm joking. No. But yeah, I'm very lucky to find each other. Like very lucky.
Yeah, and it's like, and I know both Sanne and Joe and me as well. Like we have amazing male buddies in
Yes.
our place. Like the majority of all the supporters I've had have been dudes. But it's not like I can go up to them and like, Johan, so like, do you get this problem with the sheepy? Like, have you
Exactly.
tried it?
Yeah.
He doesn't know. Like, have you like, this chest strap is squeezing my boobs. Do you get the same problem? I don't think it does. So it's like sometimes you have to talk about
Yeah.
very specific things with other dudettes and just get tips and tricks about how they handling stuff. Majority of, I don't know how about you guys, but majority of my stuff has been like configuration issues related to length, because I'm not very tall. And usually all the dudes are like, nah, we don't have that problem. So it was good. It was good to find others.
Yeah, I had the same problem
And
with
also, dare I say, yeah, go on.
no problem. I had the same problem with some gear, and in fact, I do understand totally what Sarah was saying. Like, for me, it was a problem of the boobs, to be honest. So we have another configuration in front of us. It's different. And talking with Sarah and Jojo about this was like an eye opener to realize, like, okay, it is in fact really different. And yeah, we need this, I think, to talk with other women about some problems out of our configuration as women.
And Nick, oh my God, Sarah and Sanne, they have ginormous boobs, so they do have a problem, And so
the struggle is real.
Cat.
Okay.
Oh la la.
amazing though, amazing boobs, but yes.
Full transparency. You have to X-rate this this episode of the podcast.
I will.
Yes.
I will
no.
put a warning.
Let them know.
Yeah.
Let the world know.
Well, on top of the gear configurations, what other things were you able to relate to that you couldn't speak to other guy divers about?
I think we're just all very how do you say, like, honest. Like, we really just say everything we want to say. It's not a guy thing. It's not that you cannot talk with guys about it, but with the women, sometimes you feel more free to say just everything you want to say.
Yeah.
We are very, I don't know, in fact, this word, like, we try to just stay ourselves. If something goes wrong, we just admit it goes wrong, or we say, hey, how can we improve this together? How can we do this? So this, I feel as well, that is really different with you girls than aside with other divers. So this I love.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. And
couldn't
for
agree
me,
more.
another thing was like, it was also like the aspect of, and I'm also very reluctant to draw like hard lines between like, this is something men always do and this is something women always do. But if there is something I've definitely noticed in terms of like self-criticism, self-valuing when it comes to the dive skills, like it was very nice for me to be able to talk with Sanne and Joe about like the own pressure and expectation we put on ourselves to sometimes compensate for being very few of us in a community. And then I always put a large pressure on myself that in my head for a long time I was like this: I want to be the best diver that steps on the platform, because I knew I was being scrutinized every time I was stepping on the platform. Not only because being a woman, because also I was new to the dive community. And there's always this scrutinizing process when you, at least here in Sweden, it was like this, especially in the mind diving community. And I could talk to Sanne and Joe about this in a way that I couldn't really talk to the male dive buddies, because they didn't feel the same pressure, or they didn't put the same pressure that I did in my own head, basically, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think they actually go so hard on themselves like male. Maybe, well, not everyone, but yeah, most of the males, they're like, they don't, like, we are very serious and we are very ambitious, and like you said, we're very cautious about everything, and we always want to be the best. Not necessarily compensate, but compensate as well. But yes, and I think that's a very good point, Sarah. You don't have that with male like divers. They just like chilled, and they don't have. It's almost like, oh yeah, they don't try as much as hard. Like we want to be perfect, and actually, it's not a good thing because we're already amazing divers, and we don't always notice that. But yeah, that's definitely a valuable point, Sarah. Yeah, I would strongly agree. Yeah, with that.
Yeah, and I think another thing we're really good at is like giving each other feedback. Like
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
only like not only things to improve, but like also things that are like really really good. Because something I noticed like when I was diving in my normal circle is that if everything was good, nobody said anything. But when something needed improvement, then everybody was like, "Yeah, this and the hair and the her," and it's really good because you can learn really fast and get help. But I mean, the other part has to also be there, right? Because if you only say things to improve but never confirm what is already good, it's very easy to get the impression that you're not good. You only have things to improve all the time. And I was stuck in that circle in my head as well. And Sanne and Joe helped me to get out of the circle because they were like, yeah, but have you also seen that you do this and this is good? So they definitely helped me with my confidence and self-criticism and just like chilling the fuck out
Yes.
when it comes
Yeah.
to like, no, but like
Chill your tits, girl.
Chill
you
your
remember the first time
tits.
you met me in the Tuna Hässberg, like loud. I was so serious.
Sarah, yeah, like, across all these years, you can see Sarah really, really, like, we got really close. It's difficult with Sarah because me and Sanne are like, oh, baby, we love you. We love each other and stuff. We all touchy-feely. With Sarah, it was completely different. It took me years to figure her out, and took her years to open up as much as she's opened up now. So yeah, it's some amazing achievements, really good. And then like personality wise, oh my God, we're so different and it's so amazing. But we like puzzles. Amazing. We're so lucky. We are.
Well, tell me about the first meetup. I'm sure that must have been an amazing time.
Like me especially was super funny. I was like a bit stressing because it's normal. You meet people you never saw, and I actually drove to Sweden for it. So we were driving for 15 hours, if I've been mistaken. I think it would be like 15 hours.
In December.
In
That's
December,
hardcore.
snow, like it was dark outside already at 5 o'clock in the evening.
-20.
-20
Minus,
to meet
-20 degrees.
to meet a bunch of strangers actually.
And they had like all around tires, all year round tires. I'm like, these motherfuckers ain't gonna make it.
We were not ready for that snow.
So you're stressed, and I was as well like, with my friends, I'm actually most like, I'm loud. I'm not a filter. I speak about dirty words without thinking, And so I was like, okay, will I be normal there? Will people look at me strange? I opened this door, and the first word I hear in the background is boobs. I was like, okay, this suits me. This is going well. And immediately there was like a major connection. Everybody felt natural. It was like we knew each other for years already. It was I could not wish it to be any more better like this. It was so natural. It was perfect.
It was me who touched your boobs, Sarah. Like the minute she opens the door, and I'm like boobs, and I think I touched it, and yeah, it was that natural, Nick. That natural.
Yeah, because for me, it's like, I think that's kind of like the reaction everybody has when they first see me. It's just that Joe just said it out loud.
It's just Sarah and the boobs.
Yeah, because I mean,
because they're amazing.
Technically, it's the first part of me that enters the room.
If she's not diving, because if she's diving, it's a scooter.
Yeah, in the water, it's a scooter. Yeah, so people don't even know what's coming. But like physically in a room, yeah, that's the first body part of me that enters. If I would have been flatter, it would be my toes, but unfortunately, it's the boobs. But I agree with Sanne that it was this really familiar
immediate connection.
Yeah, and we were all, I think, a bit nervous because it's always like
absolutely
the thing you have in social media, like, okay, but how much of it is real when you see someone? Will you click in person versus like text messaging? So we were all I was very nervous and curious because I also know, like, I'm also not as Joe said, I am not maybe the most like when I meet
No,
someone for the first
not at
time.
all.
Usually a bit more reserved. So I was also nervous about like, okay, oh my god, what are they gonna think about me? Because I know I'm not like that. Proud to
Yeah.
say. But they embraced me, and that's the most wonderful thing I could ever ask for.
Oh,
Embracing people when they're different. Yeah, it sounds very corny, but in a team, not everybody's going to be the same, and just having this acceptance of differences that can strengthen one another, like Sanne and Joe have strengthened me. It's wonderful. It's
yes,
perfect.
it is. Nick, you should go emotional now.
Do
You
do
should be
some background
emotional.
music or something, like put some
Yes.
Titanic music.
No, this is I don't know if I've laughed this much on an interview before. This is absolutely amazing. I'm almost crying because I've been
Oh,
laughing so much.
it's
Um,
it's the boats, isn't it?
He has.
so
For you listening, he's muted his mic for the whole time and he's just been laughing.
so when the first meetup, was it for a dive or was it just for a meetup to kind of get to know everybody?
We were diving. We were diving a mine called Tuna Hästberg. It's in Borlänge. It's in a part of Sweden that is known for having a lot of different mines because of the nature of the mountains that are there. And we were coming, meeting and diving for, I think, was it 4 or 5 days? So the mine is, you travel 80 meters below ground to find the water level. It's quite developed with, compressors, oxygen, helium, dive platforms, heating rooms, etc., etc. It's a really beautiful mine, and we were coming there to dive, and and a lot of things happened. That was
Bloody hell.
Well, tell me, question I have is, so you just meet everybody for the first time. You're planning to go into an extreme environment. I'm sure the comfort that you guys all felt when you first met must have added or made it much more comfortable. Because I personally, I have not done where I've like, okay, I'm going to meet people for the first time and then go and do this dive. Do you want to talk about the planning behind that going into the dive and how comfortable or uncomfortable it was? Because I know getting around new people, you might not be at, like some of you have just said, you might not be as open, a little bit more reserved. So, or was it just everybody speak about everything?
We did a test dive, actually. We did a small dive, let's say, just a test dive, just to check our gear. Is everything good? How do we act like a team? Because, as you said, we don't know each other, and it can be an advantage. I'm sorry for pronouncing the word, as well, I think, because you're more focused. So the first dive was really a focus dive, seeing how it's going. In fact, as well, for Jojo and I, how can we deal with the cold? Because we were diving in, Sarah, you need to help me. Is it 4 or 6 degree?
Full.
yeah,
4 degree mine, and I'm often used to minimum 7 degrees, so it was a challenge. So this first time dive was really needed for us to see how we continue on. In my opinion, I think it went really good. Immediately we had a planning, we checked if our dive signals and protocols are the same, but as we all are technical diving, we are kind of in the same road already, so it went fine immediately.
yeah, I would agree. Like there was no one being like a showboat or very risk taking or whatever, and I think it was really important just to have that acclimatation dive, just to have this expectation or this knowledge about like, okay, so how cold does the water feel when it is 4 degrees? Like, what does it mean for me as a diver? It might sound like going from 7 to 4 is very little, or from 4 to 2, but if you're looking at it, 2 is half as cold as 4, right? 4 is double as warm.
Yeah.
And you might think it doesn't mean anything, but when you get into the water, it's horrible. You can
Yeah.
feel it. Sometimes I time myself in the water to see when does that when does my hand start to leave me? when
Yeah.
when can I no longer feel my face? It's like it is different, even though it might just be 2 degrees, or like from 2 to 0 is also ridiculously different.
Also the regs, the equipment. Yeah, the equipment. The equipment says,
Okay.
no, I'm not getting in. We had like loads of regs leaks and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but also like it was really funny because what they had done, and like I'm laughing, but I should have also thought about this when you got there, and that was everybody got there the evening before the dive the next day, because the next day we were
Oh,
going
really?
down with the elevator, bringing our gear, right? So what everybody did that I also didn't think about, I should have told them, was like, don't leave your gear outside when it's -20, because all the O-rings go to shit when it's -20. They're like, some of the O-rings, like, yeah, they're CE approved to -50. Nah, maybe when they were new, they could handle it because they
Yeah.
shrink, right? They shrink, and then you bring it into the 4-degree mine, and everything is leaking. All the regulators, everything. So you have to like wait for them to get warmer and like re-lube them. And it was really funny because there was some guy, he was like licking the O-rings, and he was like, yeah, but I lick my O-rings. I'm like, it's -20, the leak freezes.
Yeah.
Like, this is what are you doing? I was like, oh my god. I should have also thought about telling you guys this, so it's also my fault I didn't realize it, because in my head I was like, yeah, they know it's -20. So everything was leaking. So first we had to deal with all of that, and it's just like, welcome to real life. This is how it is, you know.
Yeah, it was definitely a learning process as well for us with the cold. I learned so much, and I'm still
Yeah.
using all the tips. In fact, Sarah gave us. I'm still using it. Like I think I never had cold feet again after tuna because of the tips you got for us. Really.
Yay! I'm just trying to help you guys, and you were
She's the
making
North
so much
Queen.
fun.
She's the
Yeah, and
queen of cold. Yeah.
yeah, but this is because I freeze. But also, like, yeah, okay. So one of the preparations for this first meetup that was in Sweden had to do a lot with the cold, not so much as like how you pull a line. Like, everybody knows this here in this group. Like, we had been diving in these mines and caves for a couple of years before we met, so there was no question in my head about like technical skills or cave procedures or stuff like this. It was the cold, because everything gets a bit harder when it's colder, especially if you start to freeze a lot. You cramp easier when you're reeling in and stuff like this. And you were
Definitely gets
so
smaller.
yeah, for some people it gets smaller, but some people everything gets harder. For some people both.
We look
Use some
like
Tony
these
jokes.
9-year-old boys, like.
You always do this, Nick. You always do this. I try to be serious, and then they're like shooting in dirty jokes. And I'm like, I can keep my
We're
face.
not like this, Sarah.
You're right. Yeah, it was the cold. It's different procedures. It's different world. It's like Sarah said, try to bail out after an hour or even half an hour diving in 4 water degree. Try to you can't feel your mouth. Try to bail out. Try to put regulators like where's the mouth? So it's
I did
it's
not heard
really
it. Jojo, my microphone, my headphone was not working. Can you do the sound again, please?
Yeah, what was the sound? Was it?
Yeah, it was this. Yeah, thank you.
So yeah, it's really dangerous.
We can
Like
hear you from the other side of the mine. Joe is bailing out right now. We can hear that.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's me. Hello. So yeah.
Yeah, but it's true. Like I did I did one of the I was diving in another mine a long time ago when I got a CO2 hit and I had to bail out. And I was literally like, and then you were just trying to put the mouthpiece in, and all these sides were going different directions. They were never getting in at the same time. After that, I switched all my mouthpieces. I'm like, I'm not fucking dying because of a mouthpiece.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like little things. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I also like another part of this was also like hands.
Yeah.
So because usually hands are the first thing to leave you in the cold water, and you guys, I don't know, like for me it was so strange because you thought it was so funny with my gloves. It was the first time you had seen the 3-finger
Yeah.
gloves. They're even on the
Nick,
Prosper
have you
glove.
seen the gloves? We made the reel about it, actually. Oh my god!
It's like
Yeah.
the Star
They
Trek
made, they
thing.
made some,
The Star Trek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah, and they made a reel about it with some Instagram templates. So they're also, so Sun and Joe are much better at Instagram than me, and they made this reel, and it got so many views, and I was just standing there like, what the fuck is happening? This is not that funny. This is serious, you guys. You should-
Does the
But she
3-finger?
stayed anyway.
Does it keep you warmer than? Actually, probably because your fingers are together, building warmth. It keeps you warmer. Okay, that's got to be challenging though to be able to deal with stuff. I would think.
You get used to it. You get used to it. So you have these ones, and then you also have the thumb gloves, and you
Oh.
can also have this one. But I have thumb gloves and this.
Okay.
But it was the, I don't know, it was the joke of the week.
It was.
But in fact,
Gloves.
I definitely want to test them one day because
Yeah.
I can be joking and everything, but in fact, I'm not right to joke when I don't know what I'm joking about. So I need to test them one day.
But it was funny. I mean, apparently, like, I don't know how many views that reel get. Like, apparently 100,000 more people also thought it was funny. So I don't know. Maybe I'm good. I'm the stupid one. But it was funny. It was really funny.
It definitely
And we had
created a
a lot of fun.
connection.
Yeah.
Yes.
So after the first dive, there was just instant connection. You knew. Is that when the name came about? How did the name come about?
Good question, actually.
Yeah, the name came way earlier. I think, Sanne, was that you who came
Yeah,
up with the name?
I think the name came the same way we met each other, really spontaneous, just like natural. We were speaking like we like cave diving. Like I don't know if it's in French that you add like ets, like, or I don't know which language, but sometimes you just add some letters to sound it more like feminine. And I think this is the case with cavettes. It really sounds like girls who like to cave. In my opinion, it sounds really like this. So it went really spontaneous. I don't think we really were like brainstorming or anything.
No, we didn't have a meeting about it.
Yeah.
Oh, let's say spontaneous, as you probably noticed.
I would have probably had like a meeting about it. Like,
I know.
Yeah, probably.
It sounds like-
She had like a to-do list. We need a name.
Yeah, I know. I know.
No,
I'm so
we love
silly.
No,
Sarah.
you're not
We love
sorry.
you, Sarah.
This is great because we have those 3 different kind of person, and we what's the name? We come together. We
Complement, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would be like, here's an Excel sheet. If everybody could just write down their
Yes.
contribution
And,
to the name, I would
and
be
we're like,
grateful.
What's Excel? What's Excel?
And Sarah's like, and I'm like, we're all over the place. Yeah. So Sarah she keeps us in order sometimes.
And they're teaching me to be more spontaneous. It's
And we
horrifying.
we
I'm
need to
getting used
teach
to
you
it.
how to be messy and all over
But
the
I
place.
agree with Sanne. It was spontaneous. It was very out of the blue, which is kind of nice.
Okay, cool.
We are amazing, Nick. I'm telling you, we are one of a kind, and we have this special connection. And it was a lot from the first sight,
No, that's awesome.
from the first boob.
From the first dive.
So, how many trips total have y'all done?
3 to all together, and with 3. But
Yeah.
me and Sanne dived in Germany as well once.
Yeah. And we met as well on boat
Yes.
again.
Yes,
If I'm not being
it
mistaken.
was a dry meet.
Yeah.
No diving. In
So
this is
The idea was actually to do one dive trip together once a year. This was like, but again, like the original idea, we just flow a bit, you know. So for sure, yeah, there is some planning. We say, going to do a dive trip, but like we said it recently, like we just, if we feel it, we text each other and then we plan it. So it's not like we need to, but for sure we want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, we did 3 already together. One in Sweden, the first one. The second one, I've been a bit. Is it Belgium? The second one,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then
And then
Sarah,
it was
put up
Faroe.
your spreadsheet.
Paris.
No, the third one was Faroe.
Yeah, let me get my calendar. I have it somewhere.
How was the second meetup?
For me it was great because they were coming to my country, so it's always nice when you can be the host, showing people around in your country. And we don't have these major mines like in Sweden, but I must say we have some pretty cozy mines as well, which I showed them, and I think everybody enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, Dene is
Dene.
so adorable. It's very good. So it's very. I like the difference in the mines, right? So first year we were in Sweden. We're talking huge mining industries, mines that are kilometers long, 100 meters deep, and then you come to Belgium, where they're small and adorable, and they're shallow. Majority of them, not all of them, and it was just like, here is another way they have done this industry, or how they have broken the parts of the mountain, and it was really cool to see the difference, getting that experience that not all mines look like this.
Yeah.
In Tuna and Långban and Sala, it's all really good visibility. That's not how it looks like in other mines. So it was really cool. I liked it a lot. I didn't like the helmet mandatory thingy though.
So yeah, but it's double, you know. I really like as well the fact that there are some rules for safety in Belgium for mine diving. So if you want to dive for mines, you need to be you need to in fact ask it. I'm going to say a club, but it's not really a club. But you need to pay in fact as well your insurance. They just do it this way, and I love it because this makes it more safe, and not everybody can go dive in it without any formation. And yes, you need to wear a helmet. But for me, it's not a big deal because I dive always with my helmet because I'm in side mount configuration. But I can imagine for back mount, it's not. It's true. It's not the most easy setup. Yeah, but
No, for me it was just like, I've never dived with.
Against the unit, boom, 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 boom.
yeah. So this time we heard Jojo doing boom 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 instead of.
Yeah, you think rebreather diving is quiet, but it's really not.
Fuck
It's
not.
really not.
She's we're laughing and singing and everything underwater.
We knew where she was at all times. It's really great. That's one of the advantages of rebreather diving. You can have body control. But yeah, the helmet was interesting. I had never dived with a helmet because in the Swedish mines we have like shit ton of rules, but the helmet was not one of them. So I was like, I had to get some new gear, which is kind of like fair because they had to get new gear when they got to Sweden. So what am I complaining about? I could, but it was nice because but I liked the helmet. I looked like a super cool, awesome Uber cave diver, like
Serious diver, yeah.
on Instagram, like people just put on helmets. I'm like, I'm going cave diving. I'm like, okay, are you planning to hit your head at the same time? Like, what's your buoyancy like? What are you doing? But it was really nice. It was really cool, and the mines there were really awesome. I like, say if I pronounce it wrong now, Sanne, the Varnant.
Varnon, ouais.
Varno, okay,
Ouais.
yeah. I liked how they had been cutting the rock. It's like this pattern that was really cool. And I liked Denier with it reminded me a bit of Tuna Hesper with the pillars and everything.
Yeah. And in Dene, there are in fact as well. They left stuff. You need to help me, like a big wheel, some tools. So it's really nice to see like this big tool still standing there. Not like the size of Felicitas, but we have some proper tools still in it. So it's bringing you back to history.
Yeah, and there's a little nom with a pink hat. This is so cute.
Oh wait,
actually.
this is my baby brother. Every time I see him, I'm like caressing him, like because he's as well in pink.
Yeah.
Am I the only one doing this?
The good luck no stroke, yeah.
So was the third expedition? Was that what was the third expedition? Because I know there was one, I saw the story. I think I've talked to you a little bit about it, Jojo, where you were saying that you had the scooters just full blast. You weren't going anywhere, strong currents. Was that the third time?
Yeah. Sarah, do you want to say how amazing it was crawling through the kelp forest?
I have a friend who lives on Faroes, and he was like, yeah, we have some sea caves. You want to check them out? And I was like, yeah, why not? That's kind of like summarize how that discussion went, it was longer than this. We did some, apparently, obviously, and we did some inventory in regards to like what equipment we would need. Because I mean, compared to Sweden and Belgium, we were suddenly going to an island that is far out in the Atlantic Sea, known for really strong currents, having the majority of the time shitty weather, strong winds, rainy, blah blah
And
blah,
sheeps.
and a lot of sheep and waterfalls, like so many waterfalls. We already knew that we can't be reliant on a boat, because then it's like in a week we might only get out like one day.
Hmm.
And we were like, okay, so we need DPVs. So we got DPVs, and we chose them based on a certain factors. We chose the Sea Crafts, because they were very lightweight and super powerful, because we knew that we were not gonna we need to be able to get back to whatever shore harbor we went down in. And these sea caves, they are very shallow, and that combined with strong currents and waves made them quite hazardous, because it's like imagining you're kind of like rocking back and forth, but then that rocking back and forth, like we had it on 30 meters, that's how strong the swell was. And then going into those caves, and we were just like, yeah, so how it was really really difficult, and
Yeah.
at some point it was also dangerous.
Yeah, it was really challenging.
Was.
And I don't know, for me, I had an event where, because in the it was really hard to kind of like lay any line at all. So we had the navigational console on the Seacraft that could, do the distance measuring and stuff like this. And at some point, I was being unattentive. I don't remember if I was looking for you guys, and I kind of like dropped my scooter, and it got while the walls are very, they're just like, it's like someone had just filed them down. They're completely, what's it called? Flat, and there's nothing to attach in, and then you have like big boulders on the floor where the ceiling has started to cave in. And at some point, while I was not attentive, my scooter got like jammed in between two rocks. So I and the scooter was not rocking back and forth. I was attached to the line, and I was kind of like just going like a switch pendulum, stuck. but my scooter was anchored, and I was like, mother, and it was,
Yeah.
at some point it was chaotic,
Yeah, at some point, like when I was recording Sanne and she was trying to lay the line, it was like in the washing machine. And we were like, whoosh, toss and turn. It was absolutely. So for me, I think it was the first time in sea caves, and boy, oh boy, that's a new experience. Fucking hell.
Yeah, for me as well. I also had like a moment that I think I never had this scared as well. Like I really had the moment where in fact, so like Sarah was telling, the walls are flat, there are big boulders. And then once you go deeper and deeper, sometimes it gets a little bit more smaller. So the current is getting more heavy. And then there was a big boulder on the floor, which I need to go over. Once I get
Yes.
over this boulder, actually all the current who is pushing against this boulder is going upwards. So this current took me, and I found myself after this big boulder like rolling like a washing machine, and I could not even know anymore where was up or where was down. Like all the leaves and all the dirt was there, so I did not have any visibility. And I pushed the scooter, and luckily the scooter went up, so I saw where I was, and I could get out of it. But I was on full speed to get out of it. So
Yeah.
this tells a lot about how dangerous and strong those swells
Yeah.
are. It was really an eye opener for me. It was heavy.
Yeah. And also when I was waiting in the mine, and I was like, oh my God, there's a massive fish swimming out of the cave towards me. And I'm like, that's big. And there was a seal. And she just like, whoosh, next to me. And I'm like, there's a seal. And I'm just actually screaming for them. They think like,
And this was the moment. This was the moment I came back out of this experience, and I was like, "Oh my God, I need to get out of it!" And leave me, leave me.
Yeah, because I saw that because I was waiting before the boulder because Sanne is diving the Kiss Sidewinder, so we were like, okay, she's the most sleek, she's like our missile, she's going in, we will stay here and wait.
And
And
yeah,
she just came out, and I just saw her eyes, and you were messaging me like, no, no, and I was like, okay, let's go. And then Sanne, the joke comes like, this seal. I'm like, fuck the seal.
Fuck the
The
scene.
seal is fine. We need to get the fuck out. Because the seconds before, I've been doing the pendulum thingy stuck between the rocks, smashing, like, I had this distance measuring device on the end of my Seacraft, and like it got smashed off. I was like, I was like, we need to get, and from there, from that point, it was 40 minutes scootering to get back to the entry point. So like,
can you picture yourself diving with us right now?
I think
It's
it
so
would
much
be
fun.
Yeah.
It is. Sam is squeezing through tight holes. Sarah is jamming her scooter, and me seeing fucking unicorns and saying to the world, "You must laugh at that."
it was definitely, I mean, it was definitely interesting, and at that point, because I was also filming to document, and I was just like, now people are gonna be like, Sarah, no. I just emptied all my BCD. I'm like, there is no point trying to stay floated up in
No.
here. There is only naked rocks because there's nothing that grows in there because the current is so strong. So I just kind of like lay down and just like, okay, I'm just gonna lay here, really heavily weighted, and wait, because otherwise there was more of a risk of you just tumbling around.
And we need to add as well, like we went on the most like on the timing, which says the current was less.
Oh wow.
So this was on a
Apparently, yes.
green current. So imagine this on red.
Wow, we would never come out.
Yeah, so we had that time perspective as well, right? And it was really fun. The place was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was really, really beautiful. And getting in there, we had to carry a lot of the stuff, and the boogie from Pharaohs, who were helping us as well, carry our stuff, as the tide was low, and or getting lower, and then because then we have the slack water, and so the rocks are all super slippery, covered in kelp. And then we got out so we could actually get some water, and then it was time to crawl because the water was barely waist high, so we had to put on all our tanks, bring the scooters, and then we were all on all fours crawling just to get into the waters that would be waist high. And then I took the navigational route with the compass and just like, let's just scooter till we hit the wall. And on the way out, there was so much debris in the water, it got stuck inside the handles. So we got like, so my scooter started getting like a runaway. I was like, look, no hands, mama. And then we would just keep driving. And I had to stop it, turn it off, like clean it out. And you guys filmed me. I had like kelp all over my body, so I'm like a huge flag just scootering through the water. So everyone was like, we know what Sara is. You can just follow the flying kelp in the middle of the water. And then when we got to the wall, we were at, I think, like 11, 12 meters depth. And you could like feel it in your body when the waves smashed into the wall. Like you could hear it. It was really cool and also frightening.
Yeah, this when you came at the entrance of this cave, it was so like Lord of the Rings kind of vibe. Like this, imagine like this big walls going up where you don't see, you could not even see like the top of it. So, and it's like a big entry gate. It was out of this world, in fact.
Oh, that's awesome.
And in fact, I do remember as well crawling out of the water, Jojo. At one point I find myself on my back like a turtle with my hands and my feet in the air, like what am I doing?
I've got that, and I was thinking actually, Sanne, I'll be making a reel about it. Actually, how's the viz and how's the entrance to your dive site? I was like filming my face with like loads of corals all over, and then I just took out the camera, and the Sanne's lying down on her back like a turtle, and she's moving her legs.
So actually, I slipped and I fell on my back, and I could not stand up anymore because everything was slippery around me.
Yeah. It was actually hilarious watching us coming out.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, and then I think at that point we had also been in waters for almost 2 hours.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had been in for quite a long while as well, uh, and I like this because in a lot of these like projects, expeditions, it just sounds like so hardcore. But but when we're looking at ours, we're like, why does nobody mention this
Yeah.
nonsense bullshit? And actually, like, this is tough.
Yeah.
It,
Everybody's talking about the dive. For us, was like, how do we get in and out without killing ourselves?
Yeah.
That was like our hardest point. Like, and also try not to get ourselves killed when we get into the cave.
I must say as well a big thank you to Bogey, because for me personally, if there was not somebody on the coast,
surface support, yeah.
I don't know if we could have managed, but at like half an hour, like we really, for me personally, I really needed somebody to help or to give instructions, maybe go to the left or the right, because when you're in the water, you see another kind of view than the person from the beach. So big thanks to the support for all.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, and he runs a dive center there, so like just like check him out. It's really nice. It's the underwater topography is really cool. It's really amazing under the water, and the huge kelp forest is just one of a kind for sure. It actually made it hard to navigate because everywhere was kelp. I was like, this shit all looks the same. Where the fuck am I?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why we needed the navigation console just to have, because I could see where I could get from the Seacraft navigation console. I could see also where we had scootered, the plot of the path, so I could navigate us back roughly the same way. That helped a lot.
There will be a project. How do you say? There will be a few words about project write up on Seacraft page. So once that's done and completed and finalised and approved, and it's all live, we will let you know.
Awesome. So is there any future, or what do you have planned for the future, like future projects, future trips, future meetups, any warm water diving?
Nice for a change.
Are you inviting us, Nick?
Come down to Bali.
Oh no, how horrible! I don't know if I can handle that.
No, we cannot do the hot water diving.
I was in Malta going to Faroud, and I'm like, this feels wrong. I've got no gloves. Oh my god, what's wrong with me? But so the first meetup will be in But actually in January. So that's dry. We're not diving, and then we haven't come up with a diving project for 2024 yet. Not yet. The first one is January and Düsseldorf, and then we'll take it from there and we'll see how it goes.
Okay, awesome.
Because there might be some people, coming to us with some project or exploration expeditions. Yeah, right. But we never know. We might be surprised. We'll be good, really. So yeah, let's see what the future brings. Dare I say?
Yeah, otherwise I'm gonna try to milk Sanne's connection to France and just be like, I want to go to Lot, dive Lot again. I haven't been there since I did my full cave.
Oh, really?
Course.
Oh, we definitely need to go.
Yeah, I'd love to go as well. Yeah.
So maybe that's a plan for 2024.
Yeah, por qué no?
You see, it's like super spontaneous.
Write that down in the spreadsheet.
We decided it here on the Nick podcast. We're
officially at 9:56 in the morning, Sweden time.
I'm writing this down. Hang on.
Do your Excel.
But I think like one other thing to mention that is kind of nice with the Cavettes, or that I've gotten from the Cavettes, so I have to say, besides the cool trip that, with the projects that may or may not have succeeded, or like we've gotten to do everything we said we wanted to do. In the beginning, I thought this was just going to be like, yeah, we had a goal of like inspiring other women to start diving caves and rebreathers, if they want to. We're not going to force anyone. And we were like, let's just try to do that by just doing what we do normally.
Yeah.
And in my head I expected like maybe nothing, right? Like the expectations were zero. And now, like a couple of years afterwards, there are a lot of female divers writing to us, especially, those who are like standing in between, like, should I go the cave step, should I go the CCR step, and they are writing to, I think, all of us, and we're trying to help them, advise them as much as we can. And the feedback has been quite amazing.
Yeah.
A lot of people have written to me, and I know they've written to you guys as well, like, thank you for supporting me. And it's really strange to meet women throughout Europe that are kind of like, they're saying they're a fan, and
Yeah,
it's hard for me to
Yeah.
grasp, but we're the same, no? Like, we're
exactly.
doing the same thing.
Because you must know, Nick, we like, although we say we're amazing and we're one of a kind, but we're also very humble as well, and like I don't think we realize.
Like this go this how
Oh my God, such a big head. But no, it's honestly, like we're so overwhelmed with all those, with when someone's coming to us saying like, you're my inspiration, and they ask us for advice. This is the biggest. I think this is the biggest achievement of Cavettes. Sarah, stop crying. But yes,
Nick, you have your intro. You have your intro right there. Can you
but in
just
fact it shows how honest we are, how we have no filter, in fact. But in fact, like the same thing, like it was both last year, and there were like women coming to us asking for a picture, and I felt like I was so shy. I was like, but no, I'm not. Like, for me, it's like, no, I'm just like Sanne, and we're just like Sarah, Jojo, Sanne, having fun and diving together. So it feels strange for me, but I think it's normal that people always search somebody to look up to, but I never saw myself like this person for somebody else. But it's going on, and there are women kind of fan of us, and it's strange. But it's as well really, yeah, it's strange for me, to be honest, but it's as well beautiful, and I want to
rewarding.
continue on. Like, if it's just like, if you can just inspire one woman, that's enough for me. Like,
Well done.
Yeah, and for sure. And I also like,
Yeah.
there are also, of course, men who are writing to me, and I try to help them as well. So it's not like only exclusively women. It just tends to be more women who are writing to me for advice. And it's really like, they write to you and they say, thank you for helping me, thank you for supporting me. And I don't think they realize that, like,
Yeah.
for me, that is also like supporting, like, knowing I help someone, like, it
The
gives
purpose.
me, like, they're also helping me and supporting me. Or have to say, no, it sounds strange, but it's like, I don't know how to say it, but if they think they're the only ones who are getting helped, they're not. Like, I'm getting helped by them.
yeah.
They're empowering me, and like, they're
Yeah.
inspiring me to keep going as well.
And after all, they're all doing it themselves as well, so they can ask as much as they want, but it's still social media. So afterwards, they're the women as well, going in the water and doing those type of dives.
Yeah, amazing, isn't it? Most common questions for Sarah and Sanne: where do you get boobs that big? I'm joking.
No. I actually never had those kind of questions. But if you want to ask me that question, Jojo, you're free to ask.
I always do.
Yeah, I get a lot of, like, because of my dry suit, and like the rubber hood. It's a rubber hood I have that's a dry hood, and I have also the full rubber suit. Like, I get a lot of, like, gear fetishists, and they're so funny because they're like opposite, Sometimes they're gonna people like, show me your tits, but here they're like, put on your dry suit, and it's like, and like, they want to see you put on more shit, and it's so funny because usually I imagine it would be the opposite, like, get naked, show tits or vagina, like, or
Yeah,
something
there
like
are
this.
a
They're like,
couple
put
of
on your dry suit. I only want to see
yeah,
this.
there are a few of those accounts actually. I've noticed as well.
It took me a while to realize, because I was going into their profiles. I'm like, they have a lot of dry suit pictures, but they're never in the water. And it took me a long while until I realized, okay. And I'm actually kind of fine with them. I'm like, you do you guys, whatever keeps you floating. I mean, they're not asking me for naked picture. They're just like, they're like, I
Can
like
I
your
touch
hood.
it?
I like it too. That's why I have it.
Oh, this has been amazing.
I mean, I didn't see that one coming, you know. I always try to like in my head. I always were a bit shy to put pictures of like Mimi, you know, like in normal clothes. It's always like something dive related, and most of the times you can kind of like just see the face in the hood. And I was like, yeah, this is the way to go to minimize sexual harassment. I got this. And then I get the others. It's like, show me your hood. Like, oh my
I
God.
do actually love all your
That's one of the
emotions
things,
you
you
put
know?
in your hood face. Like yesterday she put a meme like tired, happy. I don't know what else, but it's like just Sarah, always the same face in the hood. I really love this.
It's hard to emote.
What are some
Yeah.
other common questions that you get from people asking advice?
I get a load of most common questions. Why I dive this unit? Why not the other one? And then the other one is about dry suit. So why this unit and dry suit recommendations?
Sheepy. I have a lot of sheepy questions.
Really?
Yeah, and actually, it's been a while that I dived with it. But yeah, a lot of sheepy questions.
Wow.
That's nice. I get a lot of cold. I got a lot of cold water questions for sure, and also like questions related to the unit and dry suit configuration. And I think like we're all diving different units, and I think it's really important to there is a height of individuality you have to take account for, and I know we talked about that, Nick, when it comes to choosing your rebreather. And I always try, I try to be transparent. Like, yes, I am a Revo instructor. That doesn't necessarily mean the Revo is going to be the best unit for you. So when people ask me, of course I can tell them about like what the Revo is good at. But if you're gonna go into tight
Yeah.
tunnels and take your gear off, then that's not the unit for you. So I try to keep that objectiveness when people are writing to me. In the majority of times when women, for example, are writing to me in
Yeah.
regards to a Rebida unit, it has to do with weight and size. We're generally smaller, so
Couple last questions, and I will let everybody go and enjoy their Sunday morning, right? Yeah, Sunday morning over there. Any advice you would like to give to the women out there that are just getting into this and they want to excel, to do the things that you're doing? Maybe they maybe fresh out of open water, or maybe they're thinking about getting into diving, thinking about getting into cave diving, or I should say technical or overhead environments. What pieces of advice would you like to give?
Who wants to go first?
I'm still thinking.
So for me, definitely take it slowly, because the dive industry is a bit overwhelming these days, and everyone's just like racing and chasing and, doing certs and not spending enough time in the water. So I'd say take it slow and see if you actually like it, and enjoy it. Like I always say, enjoy it. And I would like someone to tell me years ago, like, Joe, take it slow, although I would never listen. Enjoy it. Most of the time, you're just like focus on diving, enjoy it, and then embrace it. So yeah, take it slow, enjoy, embrace.
It's difficult. Yeah, if I look at myself, I would say I try to do just me. So it's like really standard to say, do you? But in fact, diving, you need to just listen to your own body. How do you feel with your gear? How do you feel where you're diving? So just listen to your own body. Don't get pushed by others. If it's not today, it's tomorrow. If it's not tomorrow, it's in a year. So just live in the moment and don't rush. Like this is kind of the same as Jojo was saying, like rushing and do you.
Amen to that, sister. And
Snap,
from you,
snap, snap,
probably,
snap.
go to the tightest hole you can.
Yeah, side information. No, but even for this, like we're doing an exploration here in France, my boyfriend and I,
yeah.
and I failed to go to a passage. It's not failing, but I just said no, not today. I could not pass it the restriction, and then I'm like, it's not a big deal for today. Even if my team was already on the other side, I do another time, and if not, there's another cave. So this is really important for me.
Well done.
Yeah, I agree with Sanne and with Joe, of course.
Fucking better.
Especially, yeah. I'm like, no, don't listen to them. Listen to me. No, I agree with what they say. I mean, it's really, really important, I think, in regards of like doing yourself. I think it's really easy to get inspired, of course, with what other people are doing, but then also having the time to reflect upon like, okay, but what do I want to do? What
Yeah.
do I want to do? What is my ambition? What is my goals? We don't all have to have the same ambitions. We don't all have to go to 200 meters or several kilometers into the cave. What makes you happy with your diving? That's really, really important because it motivates you to do things, especially when things get tough or hard, or you have to try several times to get something or do something. It's then you have to, think about, okay, but why am I doing these things? Like, why am I spending so much money on
Yeah.
equipment and training to get into environments we were never maybe supposed to be in to begin with? And just having to take your time and like to know that it is okay to try and fail. You haven't
Yeah.
failed actually until you have given up and said, I'm not doing this. And even then, it's still fine because in the end, you're doing it for yourself now. So, I mean, if you say that I don't want to do this, then you don't do it. There's like this, like my, my soul mantra, I tell myself before dives, and I tell my student this as well when they're going to courses because we put a lot of pressures on ourselves, like we're gonna do the course, I always tell them, you don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
That's what I always tell them. And in my head, before I dive, especially, if it's a tough dive and there's a lot of expectations, I always tell myself, you don't have to do anything. You could step out of the units right now and go grab a coffee. You don't have to do anything. And I think it's really important to remember because I mean, I'm not a professional diver doing molding work on 20 meters depth. This is my
Yeah.
hobby and what I love. We don't have to
Yeah.
do anything. That's my propaganda for today.
Bravo.
Can you put in an applause here?
No, that's an amazing answer. And so I probably should have saved that question for last. Because I do have another question actually that just kind of popped up, and I think that all of you were kind of talking through this, but in the obviously the scuba industry is a male dominated sport. What are some challenges that you've had to overcome, or that you would like to speak about in this world as a woman?
I must say, like in my environment where I started diving, like of course all guys, they were super supportive, so I never felt not supported by my diving environment, so big thanks to that. But I noticed that physically I'm sometimes, I'm not as strong as a woman, as a as a guy. I'm sorry. I'm not as strong as a guy. Ola. And then I felt that I limit exploration team. So I was slower. I was not moving as fast as the team, and there I felt, and it was outspoken as well, that actually I was not a add-on to the team because I slowed down the process. So this was really hard for me to hear, and I do in fact understand as well. But there is, as hard as we train, there still is a difference. So yeah, this was hard. I don't know you girls, but this physically part sometimes is bothering me. And if you have like a great team, like for example with my boyfriend, he says like take all the time you want. So if it takes like half an hour more to carry the stuff, or if I need to carry something for you, it's okay, it's fine. So luckily there are people with whom it's going fine. So maybe it's just about finding the right team for you as well.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. I mean, everything you can do anything basically. It's just a matter of time, for sure. I think for me, if I'm trying to find like a concrete example, I've had 2 or 3 times, I think, not so much now later in days, because now I think after a couple of years, your experience is getting less and less questionable with time. I think when I was a bit newer, I had 2 or 3 moments where people did comment upon my progression they would state that you're switching to a rebreather way too soon, or you're switching into the cave diving way too soon. And it's okay to think that, for sure. I mean, everybody, has the right to their own opinion. But the funny part was that in 2 or 3 of those occasions, they would say that to me, and then their dive buddy would be standing there, and I knew that the dive buddy was less experienced than me, had less dives than me, had less hours on the unit than me. And I was like, but why are you telling me this and not your buddy friend? If we're just looking at hours or dives or years, I have more in all 3 aspects. So why should I go slower and not your dive buddy that is standing fucking next to you right now? I was like,
Yeah.
why? And I don't know if it's because of me as a person or me as a female. I'm suspecting more as a person, but my femalenity is a part of me. So in those times, I've been like really pissed. But you can't be pissed towards a person. It's more like when you start reflecting upon it, there seems to be this kind of like underlining subconsciousness. I think those people weren't doing it actively to single me out. I just think that subconsciously they didn't realize that they were diving with dive buddies less experienced than me, but it was very easy to question my experience when they didn't know. So those are the times I've reflected upon, like, is it me? Because they happened 2 or 3 times with different people, but then it hasn't happened since, I think, because now I've been diving so long, so people they just know. Sorry, I've been diving the rebreathers for 5 years now. I mean, you can't come and tell me I don't have enough hours to do something. But those are the things that definitely bothered me the most. I'm still fucking bothered by it. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm getting angry thinking about it. What the fuck?
Calm your tits, girl, again.
What the fuck, you guys?
No, I understand.
Like, how can they stand that on the platform and say to me like, you gotta take it slow, girl?
Yeah,
Yeah, tell it to your fucking friend over there.
I think
Yeah.
I had the same experience as
Calm
well.
down.
I was called the Barbie diver. Look at this
Oh.
girl with all the pink gear. She's diving this mine. Is this going to be okay? She's like pink and Barbie and everything. Oops.
The minute you jump in the water, they
yeah,
change
the minute
their mind.
it was directly like people changed their opinion while I was in the water, and I noticed this before as well. Like Sarah was saying, like, do we really need to go in the water to prove we can do the dive we are planning? No, if we are on the surface saying we are going to do this dive because we planned it and we trained for it, it's enough. We don't need to prove ourselves in the water, and this is this in fact I noticed this as well.
It is such bullshit. It is such bullshit. It's like, I was diving with Alex, and he takes a lot of photos, and we were diving in the mine, and he photographed me at a place, and he posted it, on Instagram, like, oh, blah 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 blah. It was a couple of years ago, and then I get like a message from the guys. We have like people who are in the mine diving who are also like, checking that people are following the rules because we have a lot of rules.
Oh, yeah,
They were like, yeah. They were like, yes, so the decision board, because they have a group, they were like, yeah, so we saw this picture. You were photographed here. We see you have only 1 bailout. I had 2, but I was photographed like completely sideways, and my side mount trim tanks are fucking on fleek. So they only saw 1. And they were like, yeah, we question whether or not you could bail out on this 1 tank to get back.
Wow.
We would like to give you a warning in regards to your dive planning. Like, we don't believe that you can get home on this 1 tank. Well, I mean, I was on the dive platform, and I wrote on the board where I was going. And if there is a question to whether or not my dive planning is okay or not, why are you not asking for my dive plan? I didn't fucking YOLO swim over there thinking it's gonna be all right. I know I can swim back on 1 tank, but you are not interested in seeing my gas calculations for some reason. You have already decided that I am not making it back, but I am also not a 180 man who breathes a lot. I'm 157 meters. I have planned it for me. This is my fucking bailout tank. It's like, I don't know. Some people, they just jump to conclusion. It's really strange. And all of my buddies, they were also there. They were not getting questioned whether or not they could make it back on 1 tank. They didn't ask Magnus. They didn't ask Alex. They asked me. We don't think you're gonna make it back. I don't give a shit about what you think. I planned it. It's so strange. I'm angry again. You shouldn't ask me these questions, Nick. I get really
I'm sorry.
upset.
I'm sorry. This is like the worst way.
Oh, it's so strange, you know.
I think us as a woman to prove ourselves, and then it shouldn't be like that, because oh my god, she's got blonde hair, or she's got pink stuff, or she's got massive tits and she's short. I'm joking. Then we have to prove ourselves. We can plan. We can actually dive. And we are able to multitask. We are actually better divers. Not always, not every female diver, but we are amazing divers, and we
We are so
constantly have
humble.
to. Yes, we are
Yes.
very humble. But like for me, I do funny videos. I do funny videos, like I dance or something. But I can afford fucking dancing because I take my full bailout and and the fucking scooter, and I go down to 100 meters and. Do you know what I mean? So I don't have to prove myself, and you can probably see, Nick. It's really emotional for us because it is annoying and it's still on. And like for us, because we have some experience, but like for new female divers, it's just tough. It's tough sometimes, and it puts sometimes people off. But just a message to all your fucking amazing female divers: you're amazing, and you don't have to prove anything to anyone.
And you can wear bikini pictures. You can wear bikini pictures, and you still are an amazing diver.
Tech diver. In fact, you can be a tech diver and show your tits and ass because you have a fine ass and tits.
Yeah, for
Thank
sure.
you very much. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, end statement, and at the same time, like as we're like, you go girls. I also want to thank the really amazing men I have had supporting me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like there are some really, really. I know you guys have them as well in your group. And for women who might think they're not, there are a lot of amazing, fantastic men out there diving, being so supportive. They are there, right? But you're gonna hit a bad egg once in a while, and you can't let them bring you down. And that's kind of like how life works in general. There are always gonna be assholes in everything that you do, and then there are gonna be these amazing people, regardless of gender, who's going to be there.
Yeah.
So it's really fantastic. It's like it warms my heart, definitely. And it was really also amazing to see, because when Sanne came and Joe came, they brought their male buddies, and it was so fantastic to see, like when we had our male buddies, and just so fantastic to see like that we were all just a family, the men included as well. People think we're just doing girl trips. No, we're 50-50 basically. It's the golden ratio. That's how we kind of want it,
Awesome. Well, first, sorry to end it on that note. But no, it's because it was it was a question I've been meaning to ask, and then it kind of got away from me, and I was like, oh, I should definitely ask, because there is a lot of challenges that women go through, and I can only speculate, obviously, and I try to stop anything that you see happening. So I just wanted to get out there and be more spoken about and be heard. And so, no, thank you very, very much for coming on to the podcast. And this has been absolutely amazing. Like I honestly I can't remember the last time I've been laughing this much. This is such a great group. I really, I think I have to build my skills up a little bit and kind of to be able to come and dive with y'all. And I don't know, the cold water it scares me. maybe if you ever we could plan a warm weather trip somewhere in Southeast Asia sometime. That would be pretty amazing, because there is some cool stuff to see out here. Definitely, I think the cave diving cave exploration, I should say, there is quite a bit of it going on in Indonesia, so, and some other parts too. But yeah, we'll figure out, and because it would be absolutely amazing to hang out with you all, because this has been just a blast. Like, you've had me in tears most of this episode.
It would be a pleasure.
Yeah, but Nick, I mean, we can just do shorty single tank dives in Bali as well.
Yes.
I mean, we don't have to dive technical just because we're technical. We are just divers who happen to do both.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, that would be amazing. It would be, we should plan a trip sometime. It would be awesome. But thank you very, very much for coming on to the podcast today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for the invite.
Thank you for having me. Yes, it was super fun. It was
It
super fun to
was.
watch Nick muted crying most of the time in this podcast.
Yeah. But he's like a silence crier. I was expecting like like the drama crying all over the place, but no, sadly.
Yes. Unfortunately, we didn't get him to fall out of a chair, but maybe next time.
Off-gassing, a scuba podcast.